We are now going to be looking at proceeds. Now, proceeds can basically be split into two types of proceeds that we get. We get the actual proceeds, and this is the most common one. So if you sell an asset for 100,000 rands, that's usually the proceeds. Then we also get deemed proceeds. Now, deemed proceeds is again a situation where it's not the actual proceeds, but they will, the amount that you will use is not the actual proceeds. So in other words, it's an amount which they will then say, we deem it to be the following amount. Okay, so these are the sections that are applicable. We're going to start with paragraph 35. Paragraph 35, so this is actual proceeds. If you sell an asset, the cash amount usually, or the value of the sales proceeds. It says, subject to subparagraphs 2, 3, and 4, the proceeds from the disposal of an asset by a person are equal to the amount received by or accrued to in favor of that person. Right, there we go. So it's the amount that you receive. So if I sell an asset to you for 200,000 rands, that's usually my proceeds. They say it also includes the amount by which any debt owed by that person has been reduced or discharged. So this is if you owe someone 30,000 rands. If they write that off, that 30,000 can potentially become proceeds. But there's sections on debt. Right, that's more important. It will override this. You'll see as we continue with your studies. And then they say the last one, any amount received by or accrued to a lessee from the lessor of a property for improvements affected to that property. So, X Limited leases land to Y Limited. Y Limited builds a building. X Limited pays Y Limited $1 million for that. That $1 million is proceeds for Y Limited. Right, that's what they talk about here. Then we are going to look at paragraph 35, 3a. The proceeds from the disposal during the year of assessment of an asset by a person must be reduced by. So, proceeds must be reduced by the following amounts. The most important is A, and that's the one we're going to talk about. Any amount of the proceeds that must be or was included in the gross income of a person or taken into account when determining the taxable income of that person. So, if you have an asset, I'm going to briefly explain it here because recoupments is something that you will study completely separately. Let's say you had an asset which had a cost of 1 million rands and you claimed capital allowances on that. That's also obviously a whole big study section of 600,000 rands. So there's 400,000 rands left. If you now sell this asset, right, sold. Okay, let's say you sell it for 1 million rands. 1 million minus 400,000 gives us 600,000. Then it means that we have recovered our allowances there. This is a recoupment. This is how the calculation works. Now this amount will be included in your rands column. You'll study this in future completely separately. I just want you to focus on the principle now. This recoupment is an amount that gets included in your rands column. So when you are calculating the proceeds for base cost on this asset, it's the selling price, 1 million rands. Why is it 1 million rands? Because subparagraph 35.1 says the amount received or accrued to you, 1 million, minus subparagraph 35.3a says any amount which was included in gross income. Here's my gross income and my taxable income column. That 600,000 was included there, so you deduct that. So your proceeds is 400,000 rands. You always deduct the recoupment from it. Now, listen to closely what I'm saying here. That is the only thing that you deduct from it. All of these things you can deduct, right? Only these things. The first one is recoupments. Then any amount that has been repaid. So the person pays you 1 million, but then something happens and you have to repay 100,000 rands. So 100,000 will be deducted from that. Right, and the last one is that when there's an asset that has been reacquired, that also gets taken into account there. Guys, not very common, you'll see a different section on this. Right, this is the most important one. If you have recoupment, you deduct it from proceeds. Now, I want you to make sure you hear what I'm saying there. You only deduct the proceeds. I'm going to make a comment here. Note, we never deduct selling costs from proceeds. So let's say you sell an asset and you had to pay an agent 10% commission to help sell it. You don't deduct that from proceeds. It will get added to base cost. Right, so guys, this is the actual proceeds, the whole story we just had for you to look through. Then deemed proceeds. Now this is an important section and one that pops up very, very, very often. This is a situation where they tell you when you're doing your calculation, this proceeds that you've got here will be deemed to be a different amount, and it will be basically, you'll see, deemed to be market value. So let me explain. Paragraph 38 applies for a disposal by way of a donation, or for consideration which is not measurable in money, or for connected person transactions which are not at arm's length. Those are the three situations. If you donate something to someone, if you give an asset to someone but you don't give them you don't charge them something that you can measure in money. Now, like an example I always think of here is, for example, I say to you, I'll give you my house if you agree to marry me. Okay, I know it sounds a bit silly and it's a little bit scary, but right, if I say that, you can't measure marriage in money, so this section would apply. Or connected persons. I sell an asset to you, the asset has a value of R1,000,000 and I sell it to you for 600,000, for example. Right, then this section will tell us what to do. So it says, subject to subparagraph 2 and section 9HB. Section 9HB is the transfer between spouses. That section overrules this section. Where a person disposed of an asset by means of a donation, or for consideration not measurable in money, or to a person who is a connected person. So, or, can you see there? Immediately prior to or immediately after the disposal, for consideration which does not reflect an arm's length price. So that's for the connected person. If you sell something to a connected person for consideration which does not reflect arm's length price. Here, the value is R1,000,000. I sell it to you, you my connected person, for 600,000. That's not arm's length. Then the person who disposed of the asset, so the seller, must be treated as having disposed of that asset for an amount equal to the market value. So proceeds here must be market value. So that's deemed. Since although I sold it to you for 600,000, I must use the market value in my calculation. The person who acquired the asset, you, must be treated as having acquired that asset at a cost equal to the market value. So that's what your base cost will be. Right. So the seller is treated as if it was sold at market value or donated at market value. And the buyer was treated as, or the donee, the person receiving the asset, is treated as if they obtained or purchased it at market value.